Good morning, everyone. I wanted to take a moment to just kind of give you an overview of what Section 7 is going to be talking about. This is a really important section of the MRWC, and it's very interesting, and it really gives you an idea of math and how it's all related instead of in its own little categories. So we're going to talk about the features of functions. So if we take a look at question number 1, it says state the domain and range of each function in words and in interval notation. So domain is the set of all x values in a function. So you notice for the graph part that we can see there are no holes, there are no asymptotes, and the arrows tell us this is going to continue to the left and continue to the right. So the domain is going to be all real numbers. At the range, though, we start at -4 and then we continue up from there. And so the way we write that is using this interval notation. So in words, we would say the domain is all real numbers. In an interval notation, it says we're going to start at -infinity and end at +infinity. And I'll come back to that in a second. So the range is from a minimum point to infinity. So that minimum point happens to be at -4. And so we go from -4 to infinity. So notice -4 is a point on the graph that has a y value at -4. And so we have a closed bracket here to say include that y value of -4. Now these are open brackets. It's kind of like an open circle. And so because infinity is an idea and not a number, we would never have a closed bracket on infinity. So that one's going to be open. So pause the video for a moment and give number 2 a try and see if you can answer the domain and range for that using words and interval notation. So looking at number 2 again, there are no holes, there are no asymptotes, and the arrows continue to the right and continue to the left. So it looks like the domain is going to be all real numbers. And then when we look from the y-axis perspective, this says continue going up and this says continue going down. So the range is also going to be all real numbers. So then what other features do you notice about this graph? How are they different and how are they the same? So take a moment to pause the video and just write down any ideas that you have. So here are the ideas that we came up with. Both graphs have 3 x-intercept and 1 y-intercept. So for the first graph, we have an intercept at -3, 2, and 5. And then we have a y-intercept at -2. And for question 2, we have an intercept at -1, 2, and a little smaller than 5. And then we have a y-intercept, it looks like, at 2. So the y-intercept for the first graph is negative, and for the second graph, it's positive. Another thing that we notice is the first graph has a minimum value, whereas the second graph does not. And then finally, the end behaviors, meaning where the arrows are pointing, are different, even though they have the same domain. So even though the domain is all real numbers, here they point up, and here one points down and one points up. So taking a look at these two graphs, we want to state the domain and range of each function, just like we did in the previous one. So looking at question number 3, we are continuous until we hit this asymptote here. And then we're continuous again until we hit an asymptote. And then we're continuous again forever and ever. So that means that those asymptotes broke the plane up into 3 different parts. So that means that I'm going to have from -infinity to -5, because x equal to -5 is one of the asymptotes. That's continuous. And I'm going to union that with -5 to +5, that interval being continuous. And then I'm going to union that with from 5 to infinity. So that means that if the domain is all real numbers, not including x equal -5 and +5. So union means combine these ranges together, or these intervals together. But if we look from the y-axis perspective, especially this middle one right here, it lets us know all y values are in play, so the range is all real numbers. So pause the video for a moment, take a look at number 4 and see if you can state the domain and range. So looking at that graph, the domain seems to be from -infinity to approximately -2. and then we have a break, and then we are continuous from -2 to +2, and then that asymptote makes a break again, and then we have another continuous domain from +2 to infinity. So it's going to be -infinity to -2. Again, notice this open parentheses, meaning that -2 is not part of the interval. Union with -2 to +2. Again, the endpoints are not part of the interval. And then union that with 2 to infinity. And then again, looking at this middle section here, that shows me that all y values are in place. So the range is all real numbers from -infinity to infinity. So take a moment to pause the video and let me know, how are the graphs the same? How are they different? What do you notice? So if we take a look, the second graph, meaning question number 4, goes through the origin, and the first graph does not. So notice that the first graph is just a little bit higher than the origin here. The first graph has 2 x-intercepts, and the second graph has only 1. So we have an x-intercept here, somewhere around -1, and another one over here, somewhere around maybe 7, something like that. Whereas in question number 4, the origin is the only point. Unless maybe this kind of dips above and dips below, we can't quite see that with the way it's graphed right now. So the first graph has a horizontal asymptote, and the second graph has what we call the slant asymptote that we learned about in Algebra 2 and possibly in math analysis if you took it. And then each graph has 2 vertical asymptotes. So features of functions, these are the 6 things that we're going to study in this section. And so one is going to be domain and range. That's what we're going to start with today. The second is going to be zeros, meaning where does it cross the x-axis and where does it cross the y-axis. The third one is going to be signs of a function. Where's the graph above the x-axis and where's the graph below the x-axis? The next is going to be local behavior, talking about relative maximum points and minimum points and where the function is increasing or decreasing. We're going to talk about odd versus even functions, which hopefully you talked about in Algebra 2. And then finally, we're going to talk about end behavior, talking about horizontal and slant asymptotes. So I hope this gets you excited about Section 7 to see these interesting things and how they play out. And then we're going to get started on the first section with the next video.